You know, every once in a while you come across something that just blows your mind when you're out there video game hunting, and this time it is something that I had been looking for quite some time, and that is a way to get into the Trails series, a series that has intimidated me for a very long time. I do have the very first game, and there are so many gatekeepers in the Trails fandom that say you absolutely have to play these games all the way through in order. And for those of you who don't know, the Trails series is a long-running series by developer Falcom, and they're the same people that made the Ease series and a couple of other games like Tokyo Xanadu, for example, which is also coming out on Switch this year that I'm looking forward to playing. But the Trails series is a turn-based RPG series that is heavy on the narrative and heavy on the political landscape of this fictional world. It's supposedly pretty important to know all the backstory of the characters and all that sort of thing. So, you know, a lot of people do say start with the first game. Unfortunately, the first game is only on the PSP, along with the second game, Trails in the Sky, first and second chapter, and the third chapter is on the Vita, both of which are pretty expensive and rare. These games never sold particularly well back in the day, which is why my mind is blown right now, because my local video game store, back in their warehouse, I don't even think they knew they had it, or it would have been on sale a long time ago, but back in their warehouse, they had this. Trails of Cold Steel, #1, and this is the Lionheart edition. This is a big box collector's edition, which is factory sealed, brand new. This came out in the West in 2015. I believe this is a 2012 game in Japan for the PlayStation 3 and the PS Vita. So today I'm going to unbox not only this factory sealed special edition of a pretty rare game, but I'm also going to open this factory sealed sequel, Tales of Cold Steel 2. This is going to be a short video. I just want you guys to see what's involved in unboxing these, because this particular special edition has a cool little quirk where they actually meant for you to put the second game inside this box. I'll just read a little bit here of the box before I open it. So it says Lionheart edition contains exclusive color art book. We'll take a look at that. Erebonian Empire pin and collector's case for storing the game and its sequel. Rank means nothing, skill means everything. As the might of the Erebonian Empire rolls forth, its very foundations are threatened by the internal clashes between commoners and the nobility. 9 hand-picked military students may save the Empire or lead to its undoing. All right, let's break out my handy-dandy knife here and very carefully start to get into this. You know, most people would want to keep this sealed and send it for grading or something, but I actually wanted to play these because some people that I trust say that you can start with this arc. The Trails series is separated into several arcs of 2 to 3 to 4 games per arc. The Cold Steel arc has 4 games, Trails of Steel 1 through 4. And the second 2 games I'm going to be buying on the Switch when I find them. But anyway, we've got this unwrapped now. Let's see what we have here. So the box folds open nicely. And what do we got here? So this is a Erebonian Empire pin inside. Show your support for either the noble or reformist factions while sporting the emblem of our mighty empire. Remove this spacer box to make room in your collector's case for the sequel to this game. Complete the saga with Trails of Cold Steel 2. And of course the saga was not completed because there were 2 more games after. Let's see what's in here, if the pin is actually in here or not. that will make my decision as to how I'm going to store these games. So I'll carefully open this. Okay, this box is completely empty. However, a completionist would consider this part of the collector's edition and would want this box in this box. So let's see what else is in here. Okay, we have a sealed copy of the game, of course, because it's coming out of a sealed collector's edition. So let's open that very carefully. Boy, that's annoying. What game is that? Just try and get this opened up here as carefully as possible. Okay, Trails of Cold Steel. So this is what the case artwork looks like. This is the back. And inside, look at that. It even has a manual. That's gorgeous. So let's take a look at the manual. The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. A little bit of artwork and stuff in there. Absolutely amazing finding these brand new sealed in 2024. I can't believe it. The disc art is very nice. I miss that now with cartridges, especially on the Switch with these tiny little cartridges. You really don't get to see much disc art anymore. Now let's see what else is in here. Open this up. And at the bottom we have The Art of Cold Steel. This is kind of awkward, but all the different character models and stuff in there. Definitely excited to go through this at my leisure. I am not seeing the pin. It must have been in that box. Maybe that box wasn't empty. But not seeing the pin. Oh, I'm sorry. Ah, yes, the pin was in the box. Okay. So this is the pin. It's got like a horse on there or whatever. I know nothing about these games, folks. I'm just really excited to dive into this series. I'm sure a lot of you in the comments are going to say, no, don't play this until you've played the Trails in the Sky arc, and that's a fair perspective, but I actually just want to get into something a little bit more modern. I'm having a hard time getting into the PSP titles. I'm finding them a little bit clunky, and you know, I probably, if I absolutely fall in love with this series, I'll probably go back and eventually play the PSP titles. So let's look at the second game here, Trails of Cold Steel 2. It should be pretty similar to Cold Steel 1 in presentation. Alright, so that's the front cover. Try to get the light off of it here. That's the back. And it says, in the midst of civil war breaking out across Erebonia, Rain wakens alone in the mountains and uncertain what fate befell his fellow members of Class 7. Though the road will not be an easy one, Rain decides to take up his sword again, journeying across the Empire with his divine knight Valimar in search of his friends and a way to end the conflict before its price becomes far too dear. And inside, we do have a manual again, pretty similar disc art to the first game. Let's take a look at the manual. So the manual has kind of a black and white look to it. There's the back cover, a little bit of color. it is definitely a color manual on the inside. Definitely nice to see this, because by the time 2015 rolled around, most PS3 games were not getting manuals anymore, so it's pretty exciting to be able to actually flip through something. Now, I'll show you with the collector's edition. I am going to store these separately because I want to keep this collector's edition complete, but this spacer box is intended to be disposable so that you can store Trails of Cold Steel 1 and Trails of Cold Steel 2 in the box, right? I'm not going to do that. I thought it would be a cool idea to do that, but because I would have to throw out a part of the collector's edition in order to store this in there, I'm not going to do that. Anyways, guys, what are your thoughts? Leave it down in the comments below on finding factory sealed, brand new, rare games like this. I actually did a trade for all but $30 of what this cost me. So I feel like I made out pretty well, because I traded some games like Clubhouse Games and Zelda Skyward Sword that I really didn't like and wasn't going to play. A couple Mario games, and just some odds and ends that I really didn't care too much about. I don't know whether I'm going to like these games, but I feel like these are worthy additions to my growing PS3 collection, and I'm happy to have them on my shelf. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay classy.